This is me, Sav, and this is Niko, one of the most dogshit, toxic idiots on SMOGON, who has been a laughable player for years, and only after a decade of gaming with the help of Pokemon gods, he started performing decently well in tournaments. Now let me give you some backstory. A year ago, when me and my friends Arman and Sergio played GCL in semi-finals for $3,000, this user Niko started randomly flaming me out of nowhere, how trash of a player I was, shit-talked me on forums, and to all his Italian friends. Now, I barely knew who he was at the time. He was just an unaccomplished, kind of hilarious, like a hilariously unskilled player, so I didn't give a fuck about him really until he started flaming me. So I asked him, since he thinks he's so much better than me, that I was so shit, why not solve this argument with a best of 3, $100 so much for a video that I could upload and everyone could see. He, of course, out of fear rejected it and gave excuses that I'm a waste of his time and everything like that. Thankfully, tournament hosts matched us against each other a year after in round 1 of SMOGON Masters, one of the largest new gen individual tournaments in the world, that we would be able to see if all that he said was true and he was so much better than me as he believed. Let's see how it went. Now we're starting things off with Generation 6. This is my best generation, and Niko supports the idea that he's good at this Generation 2. Nobody else does, but he brought he's known for using like some cheesy stuff and getting some wins here and there with like Swords Dance Weavils and shit. You know, strategies that are not exactly properly made, but they can surprise factor your opponent and often work. Here, me from the other hand, we're using a valid team, competitive, you know, a solid structure with Mega Metagross, one of the, if not the best Mega in the tier, actually the best Mega in the tier, a Thundurus, Amoonguss, Garchomp, Volcanion, and Excadrill. Very solid, well-built team. My opponent is using cheese, manual Rain with Rain, this Tentacruel, and Mega Swampert. Cresselia is gonna be able to, is the only Pokemon that gets it. I think maybe Magnezone gets Rain as well, I'm not exactly sure. Might be some sort of Thunder Magnezone. We see a Dragonite, Dragon Dance more likely Lamberry, and we see a Weavile, either Choice Band or Swords Dance. Choice Band is the actual set, but the only viable set in Auras, but sometimes people turn cheese with SD. So let's see how that went. We lead with Volcanion, and he leads with Cresselia. Now, I lead with Volcanion because Weavile is a big threat to my team. My Dark Resist does not exist, and my best bet would be Sperdef Garchomp as a resist, or Bullet Punch Metagross, or Volcanion. These are my solutions for this shit. Knockoff, if it was Choice Band, it would fucking hurt me a lot. So I want to lead something that is good versus Weavile, and it didn't have like many weaknesses. Swampert I can deal with using Amoonguss. Dragonite is a big threat, especially with Lamberry, because it can stop my Thunder Wave from Thundurus, and it can also have extreme speed if it's not like a substitute, or if it's not like Roost or something like that, or coverage. Again, my Garchomp is PDF, it's gonna help a lot versus Magnezone, Cress, and Tentacruel, but not so much versus Weavile, so I cannot really use it as a Dark Resist. So I'm using Volcanion as a lead, the defensive Volcanion. He's using Cress as a lead because it matches well versus Metagross and stuff, can Ice Beam the Garchomp, all that fun stuff. Not a bad lead by them, and he can also get the Rain Dance. I'm gonna click a safe Steam Eruption, try to damage the Cress. Oh, no, I don't. I never play safe. I'm a bastard. So I was thinking it's gonna Steam Eruption because it hits this and can also burn Tentacruel, but nope. I went Garchomp because if Cresselia was something that he's gonna stay with, the options that he had was Rain Dance, which is bad because I was gonna Steam Eruption, and he would boost the damage Steam Eruption is gonna do, and so he would get fucking nuked by that. It would do a shit ton of damage. He also didn't know my set, I could have been Specs, or he would T-Wave, so Garchomp kind of covers both, or he would switch to Tentacruel, so Garchomp kind of covers everything really. So we get up the Rocks. Rocks is a big priority for me. Garchomp would have been fire right here, but Rocks are a huge priority for me because again, Dragonite and Weavile are the biggest threats to this team, and he has to spin in front of a Rocky Helmet Garchomp Well, I'm actually leftovers, but he didn't know that. Usually guards on his Rocky Helmet. So he doesn't appreciate it and take an Earthquake. So he doesn't appreciate that and he decides to switch. I go for the safe Earthquake. And then we have leftovers, so this Toxic didn't do that much. And I can now just switch into my Amogus. He gets up the rain. Amogus was a safe mid-ground because I get something to sleep. And if he doubled into Tentacle to spin or whatever he did, Amogus was very, very safe. Thunder Wave, I don't mind that much. I'm already extremely slow, so we're good. Goes for the T-Wave. I Sport Crest. It's basically kind of dead. If I get 3 turns, it's guaranteed dead. If it gets one turn wake, it's a little bit annoying, but this sleeping is very good for stuff like Metagross and Thundurus, or even my Volcanion. Actually, it doesn't care very much. And then we're gonna make another switch into my Metagross. I make the switch because again, Crest is sleeping. This is an offensive team, so I'm expecting it to go for momentum stuff. I'm not expecting a Magnezone to come in right there. I'm not expecting a Swampert to come in on a Giga Drain potentially. So Tentacle makes the most sense, and Metagross really punishes that with a Zen Headbutt on the switch. Worst case, he stayed in with Cresselia, and I just get my Mega off, get a little hit. He wastes 1 or 2 turns of sleep, and then yeah, we're good. So this covers basically everything. It's a mid-ground. And he decides here to trade his whole Metagross, his whole Tentacle for a spin. I would have always went Magnezone there, to be honest. Magnezone Volt Switch into Cresselia would have been way better of a play. But he doesn't do that, of course, because he's not good. So he does that, and he decides to sack both Pokemons for a T-Wave and a spin. So I get 2 kills right there, 2 very important kills. This could have been very annoying for my Metagross if he played it properly. So, very good stuff for us. He plays like dog shit, as we expect. Goes into his Mega Metagross. I'm at 99% of my HP. I also have a little bit of HP investment. I don't remember what it was for. I think for beat up Weavile, if I remember correctly. Because there's a known beat up team in Auras with Kid and Black and stuff. So I remember I had a little bit of HP to survive that. He goes for rocks. So it's at all. This Earthquake, by the way, is at all. I go for some big damage with Zen Hermat. He reveals to be 0 HP investment. He gets the Earthquake roll right here. I could have switched maybe to Thundurus. That's an accomplished match. There is rain up. I would have had to switch Thundurus, switch to Amogus, maneuver very, very well around this. So I decided it's not worth it, even though Bullet Punch would have been useful versus Weavile. Metagross did it more than the job, right? He did half of the Swampert HP. Kill. Like, it was huge. It was huge. And if I got that all, Swampert would have been dead. So it would have been insane, but we don't get it, unfortunately. However, I can go to my Amogus and click a safe Giga Drain right here as he goes into his Crest. So rain is no longer up. He needs to wake up with his Crest to get that. I'm doing a double switch that is good versus Cresselia, but it also leaves Choice Band knockoff. With my extra delivery spread, I definitely leave knockoff, and I can prevent Swords Dance Weavile with what you're about to see. Let me show you. So Swords Dance, I Rock Tomb. This is a cool Excadrill set with Rock Tomb over Iron Head, usually in teams with double Steel or like Amogus, something that solves Clefable. You can skip Iron Head on Excadrill is what I'm trying to say. So I skip Excadrill Iron Head, I go for Rock Tomb coverage, basically destroying Weavile. I outspeed now. This is mainly for Thundurus, but it also works for stuff like this. And then he goes Dragonite because Swampert at this point is slower, might die, he doesn't know how much attack I have. Cresselia is getting owned by this, so this switch into Excadrill was huge. And then he reveals to be Dragon Dance with, I don't know if that's HP investment. I don't do enough damage. He seems to be Inner Focus though. Inner Focus fucking Dragon. So you understand how bad this player actually is. You understand how awful this player is. He's using Inner Focus Dragonite, probably unintentional. But still, he's dog shit. But he's Roost. So I have to play a little bit careful. I have to burn the Lamberry that we knew he had, so I can eventually Thunder Wave it or Spore it with my Amogus, or even T-Wave with the Toxic, because we see Roost Earthquake, it means he has either Ice coverage or Dragon coverage. So ideally it's Dragon, usually it's Dragon, but if it's Ice, it's still manageable with our Thundurus T-Wave and such. Now we made him very slow, so HP Ice is extremely safe for me. He goes Cresselia, I go HP Ice, nice and safe. Because there's no way he's Earthquake Extreme Speed that has 0 damage output. and I decide to get up my rocks again to pursue the Dragonite even more. And we do exactly that. He stays asleep, and I get a free Dragon Tail right here. No matter what he does, Rain Dance, Toxic, Lunar Dance, whatever he does, we're in a good position. We get the Dragonite in, which is alright. I would prefer Swampert, obviously, because I can Earthquake it, but this is also fine. We do a little bit of damage to Cress, and I status the Dragonite, which is huge. Now, keep in mind there is Lunar Dance. Lunar Dance clears status, and also gets you back to full. He's gonna take 25% though, so he's not gonna be 100%, but he's gonna be 25, minus 25%. He kills me with a Declaw, get some rough skin damage, a little bit of Toxic, and I go into my Thunderous. Again, we know he doesn't have extreme speed. He sacks the Swampert. Unfortunately, Swampert is bulky enough to live this shit. I know I did 19, but this is high roll. I calced it. This is high roll. There is a chance he might have a little bit of HP. I don't want to risk it. So I go for the Focus Blast. Statistically, this was the better play. Focus Blast over second high. I calced it did 17 to 20 HP ice to 0 HP Swampert. So it was not in my favor to kill this. It was less than 50%, and Focus Blast is 70% chance to hit. We don't hit, unfortunately. So I lose my whole Thunderous right there. And I only have Amoonguss plus Volcanion. This is fine though, because Cresselia's next turn is waking up, as long as I don't get Parrot. So thankfully we don't get Parrot too, and we all just miss the Focus Blast, so it's alright. Because to his Cresselia, my shit obviously is not gonna kill. And he's gonna be able to Lunar Dance back into Dragonite. However, because we burned that Lamberry, we are very safe. We just go for this, plus 1 Dragon Claw would be able to kill. However, I get the Spore off, and I can just clear smoke this shit for free. So yeah, we do that, and then I decide it's time to switch into my Volcanion. Now my Volcanion has Toxic. Soon Dragonite is gonna wake up, either this turn or the next turn, and this is the turn that I cleared smoked. So if he goes plus 1, I leave the Earthquake. I'm a very defensive Volcanion. I leave the Earthquake this turn right here. So I needed to find that turn switch to do this with Volcanion. So I get the Toxic off, and then I can just spam clear spot with my Amoonguss and win. So he gets 3 turns of sleep. I spam Toxic. I get even more what's called leftovers. So this is pretty fine. Even if you woke up the previous turn, it doesn't matter. And as you can see, I leave the Earthquake, 63%, so I would leave the previous turn, that's why I said it doesn't matter. And all I had to do is spam Toxic, Steam Eruption, and then I just win with my Amoonguss. So, no matter what he does, even if he spams Roost, Toxic is gonna do a lot of damage. I'm gonna be able to start clicking Clear Smoke and get leftovers back. So yeah, the next one wouldn't kill if he roosted right there. I would do clear smoke damage, remove his stats, so the next one would do less than 49, and yeah, we were able to live and all that fun stuff. So very easy game, honestly. Imagine if I didn't get high rolled on Metagross, or I got Dragon Tail into Swampert, or I didn't miss the Focus Blast. Like if I had Thunderous alive, it was dead, like it was GG. We didn't get that, but it was still enough. Just the sleep turns, it was still enough mainly the sleep turns on Crest was still enough to beat him. And of course he played like very poorly, so yeah, it was not very tough. Next game we're loading a fire team with Spec Zapdos. This is Gen 8. Here we don't have Z moves, we don't have Megas, we have just plain gaming. So it's an honest gen, but it can be a little bit boring. This is arguably my worst generation. Gen 8 out of Gen 6, Gen 7 and Gen 8. It's definitely Gen 8 at the time. Right now, because it didn't used to be like that, but hey. We're loading a fire team with Weavile, so it's my Weavile Spec Zapdos, powerful stuff. He's loading some double Tapu plus SD Garchomp, with SD Kartana I think too. And yeah, I was expecting one of these guys to be Scarf. Because I do my team could be Garchomp, as long as I don't give it a Scale Shot boost, then I'm fine. But I also have Weavile Icicle. I just have to revenge kill it, so it's fine. We don't know what the Tapu Lele is. We don't know what the Hitran set is. It might be like Spadef, it might be Air Balloon. Let's see how that goes. I'm leading with my Hitran. No, I'm leading with my Zapdos. Zapdos is good lead versus both Rotom Walls, because I'm Specs, Hitran if it's air balloon and not SPDF. It's good versus Choiceban Kartana if he was there. I can Hurricane the Garchomp switch, so this would have been fine. I go for a Volt switch, he reveals to be SPDF Hitran, and I go to my own Hitran, which is Flash Fire, Earth Power. He gives me a boost. I click a safe Earth Power versus the Wash. Or do I do Rocks? I Rocks like a demon. I also have Hatter in the back with eject button, so it is a little bit scary for him to just click Rocks versus Rocks. We know he's SPDF, judging by the Volt switch damage, and I go hard into my Hitran with Air Balloon, so he's assuming offensive. And yeah, I go Rillaboom on the Rotom. He clicks what? He clicks T-Fox, so he removes, unfortunately, my hazard, my hazards and my terrain, so he can stay in this turn and click a free Will-O-Wisp. Unfortunate for us, Rillaboom was gonna be quite useful. It still is, but at least we get some damage on the Rotom, and he is able to switch into his Tran. Now, Tran was not the play here at all, because you still kind of like in that dilemma. Do I Stealth Rocks versus Hatterene? Do I Earth Power? Do I Magma Storm? What am I supposed to do? If you Rocks and I go Hatterene, that sucks for you. You have to do this again, and Rotom is at half HP without leftovers. So very, very bad decision to go Hitran right here. You should have always went Tapu Lele and Focus Blast. You should have always went Garchomp. You should have always went... Even Kartana would have been better. Kartana not so much, because you can get staticked by Zapdos. However, if you were a decent player, you would know Volt Switch is specs, judging by the Hitran damage. I'm pretty sure he didn't even bother calcing, but yeah. So he makes a mistake, goes Hitran. I punish him with what? A Hatterene switch on Stealth Rocks, so he gets outplayed right here too. And then switch into my Hitran, outplaying him one more turn. He goes for the Heavy Slam. This is something people use in this generation, mainly for Clef, but sometimes for Hatterene too. Breaks my balloon. I'm fast, offensive, so I click a safe Earth Power. He goes to his Rotom Wash. I don't care very much about Rotom Wash. I have a Rillaboom, and I also have a Zapdos. This gives me way better position right here of the Rillaboom, because my shit is burned, so I would be in a tough position again. Knock off Grassy Glide. Does he switch it to Hitran? Does he switch it to Kartana? Does he just go into his Lele? Zapdos is way better at this point, because Rotom is low on HP. Hurricane kills, so we do exactly that. Kill the Rotom Wash. He sacks it, so no more T-Fox, which is pretty good. Hitran comes back out, I go back to Hatterene, he clicks Earth Power trying to predict my Hitran, and I eject into it. So this is very good for us, very safe, and we trade Rocks. No, we trade Earth Powers, okay, good. Yeah, so he does more damage obviously because I'm offensive, but I hit first, which is really important. So I deal with Hitran, so no Rocks, no T-Fox. I have won the hazard game, and then he gets Garchomp in. Now, as we said in the team preview, as long as I prevent Scale Shot, I'm good. So my immediate play is Hatterene and then sack. If he was a good player, it would have been scary that he might predict the Hitran sack over Hatterene, because Hatterene is still useful for his Psychic type, his Fairy types, excuse me, and even Garchomp blocking Scale Shot. This was much more expendable. This low HP Hitran, I don't need it anymore. So this was a risky player. However, I know he's not like capable of making like predictions like that when there is a Hatterene in front of you to like Scale Shot the expected Hitran. I know he's not thinking that far, right? I know this kind of player. So I get the play right, of course, and he Earthquakes at here, and then I'm able to revenge kill it with a Weavile. Very easy, very good. Even if this shit didn't work out, I still have Ice Shard with my Choice Band Weavile, so I was not afraid, right? Even if he actually made the God play and Scale Shot at the Hatterene, expecting the switch to Hitran, and I lost that play, then it would have still been fine. I sacked the most expendable Pokemon, which is Hitran at this point, because it was very low, and we get what it's called, Weavile to revenge kill. So we go for the Triple Axle. Choice Band Triple Axle would have done a shit ton of damage to this. He takes 6, and then I get one turn of Triple Axle. So this is very sad. This would have helped me with a few things. One of them is that I will be able to see how much actually this Tapu Fini takes. I did 6%, this means he has bulk investment. However, I don't see an item on this Tapu Fini. So it's either some sort of like berry or it's Scarf. Scarf usually runs offensive EVs, but this might have been HP invested Tapu Fini and Scarf. I've seen that shit before. So I decided to switch right here, not risk around. I don't have the information, I didn't get a lot of damage to this Tapu Fini. This Tapu Fini damage would have been huge. 6, 12, 20, this would have done maybe half, or maybe a little bit less than half, depending on how bulky this Tapu Fini is. So this would have been huge damage right here. However, I get my Zapdos in, his special attack drops me, so this sucks for me. And I go for the Volt Switch. If he didn't special attack drop me, I would be able to Hurricane for free. Because this would have destroyed Tapu Fini, put in range of Weavile easily. And however, his special attack dropped me immediately, so I have to click Volt Switch right here, and then have to sack another guy against the Garchomp. This time he goes for the Scale Shot, SD, and he goes for the Scale Shot. Thankfully he misses. This doesn't matter that much. I get a little bit of damage to the Garchomp, which is quite alright. But he misses 2 of these Scale Shots, so it makes up for the Weavile, Triple Axel, and more. I just want to sack the Rillaboom, really. That was the whole point. He misses a lot, so yeah. Eventually he's gonna hit, but I tried to call the switch because he needs his Garchomp, but he's consistently just going for the Scale Shot. He didn't have to go for that Scale Shot, especially the second turn. I feel. Wait, no! Wait, my bad. Damn it. God damn it. Anyway, yeah. Plus 2 Earthquake kills. So he just wants the speed boost, so he doesn't allow my Weavile to come out. My Weavile is still gonna come out. So I give him the kill right here, as I tried to call a switch into Kartana, which would have been very safe. So yeah, he goes for that. I go Weavile right here to defense kill. As I told you, I'm not afraid of this Garchomp because I can always click Ice Shard. However, I'm a beast, so I click Triple Axel like a fucking demon. Look at this shit. Instead of being... Now, if I got this play wrong, I lost. I clearly lost. 100% lost. Because Garchomp kills Hatterene, Garchomp kills Weavile as a Triple Axel and he's faster than me, Garchomp kills Zapdos and Garchomp kills Zeraora. So, knowing that he's gonna keep the Garchomp to block some electric type attacks, even get some leftovers back, not leftovers, excuse me, some Rocky Helmet action versus my Zeraora, and stop it from kicking Thunderbolts and stuff, and Volt Switch, because I expect Zapdos, I knew he was gonna switch. I knew he knew about Ice Shard. He's not that bad. He knows, like, he uses half his game, he uses Weavile, so he knows Ice Shard. So I'm like, okay, he is going to predict the Ice Shard. Lele's Psychic Surge blocks Ice Shard, so I'm gonna fucking call it like a demon and click Triple Axel, and I get rewarded. I get a big hit on this Tapu Lele and kill it immediately. Huge threat gone. This Tapu Lele is HP investment. This meant it's Calm Mind. There's no way Scarf Lele, Scarf Tapu Fini with bulk on Tapu Lele. This is some sort of Calm Mind, Psychic Spoon set, maybe Specs, maybe some Weakness Armor type of stuff with Weakness Polish, not Weakness Armor. Weakness Polish, I think it's called. With Calm Mind, the Iron Defense, some sort of spread like that. So we get a huge kill right here, and then Kartana comes out, and I get a fucking Triple Axel 1 again. So that sucked. 1 fucking Triple Axel. This is Choice Band. You know how much damage this Choice Band would have done to Kartana? More than half. More than 75%. This would have been a huge hit. It meant Zeraora kills, Hatterene kills, Zapdos can just Volt Switch out. I don't even need to risk Hurricane. I can just Heat Wave if I want to. Like, would have been a huge hit. I missed a Triple Axel versus Garchomp after that 1 hit, and I miss another one, and he does Swords Dance. So bad at the game, bro. It's actually ridiculous how bad this guy is. Like, imagine not going for Scale Shot right here. Imagine not going Scale Shot. Imagine not going Earthquake. How trash this Swords Dance was. Oh my goodness, bro. Bro, I'm not even trying to just like act like because of my dislike about this player, right? I'm trying to I make it clear how bad he is, right? Every opportunity I get. But think about how bad this Swords Dance turn was. Like, it's actually ridiculously bad. It's actually brain dead, like so bad. He would have been able to get a Scale Shot boost, kill this, because I have to hit again, and get damage on the Earthquake. If you didn't Scale Shot, I would be able to kill you with Zeraora, get Rocky Helmet damage on my Zeraora, and then you can just go Kartana because it leaves Close Combat 3 range, or Scarfini if you want to. Kartana was definitely the player. You would be good. But Scale Shot was just so good. You just get kill on Weavile, speed outrun my Zeraora, big Earthquake on Hatterene, and then just go Kartana and click Knockoff, and you win the game. Or Leaf Blade. Like, you would be able to just sweep me. But he's extremely bad at the game, so I get another Triple Axel off. He's even Yahtzee Berry. So Why did he switch that fucking Garchomp out versus Iceheart before? I don't get it, bro. He's so bad. He's so bad. He's so bad. Yeah, he's Yachiberry, so he leaves that shit. And then he went for Scale Shot now. And then I'm able to just revenge kill with my Zeraora, kill the Garchomp, get some Rocky Helmet damage. And we good, we good. He goes Kartana. Now I know I die to a big hit. I don't know if it's Scarf, because I'm thinking Scarfini, especially the way he played it versus my Weavile. I'm thinking Scarfini with bulk investment, and I'm thinking I don't kill with close combat, I go -1 and I lose the game. So I have to switch, I have to bulk up right here, leave the fucking Leaf Blade comfortably, now my close combat kills, and I had to click knockoff, predict the Tapu Fini that I thought it would be. This was slower than me, so after leftovers I leave the next one, so this bulk up was fire. However, I didn't click the knockoff. I clicked CC like a little bitch. If I clicked knockoff right there on the Scarfini that I thought it would be, this would have been a very fine turn for us. I didn't click it because I calced this with bulk Tapu Fini. It did 36, I'm at 38. In my head, I would live this. So I would be able to get a Healing Wish off on my Zapdos and win the game. Because Moonblast wouldn't do enough damage to the Zapdos to put in range of Kartana, and I would be able to win. Unfortunately, he gets a high roll on my Moonblast. I don't know exactly what kind of special attack he had on Tapu Fini, how much speed he had, because this seemed, based on the damage that I got before, it seemed very bulky. If I had more info with the triple axle before, if it did more hits, I would be able to tell exactly like how much bulk this Tapu Fini had, but I only got the first hit of triple axle, so I didn't get that information, so he's basically winning right here. I goes up to Volt Switch. This would have killed Tapu Fini, but of course, he minus special attack drops me. I needed to Volt Switch over T-Bolt, because if I killed it with my Zapdos, then there's Misty Surge, Misty Terrain down, and he wouldn't be able to get paralyzed by static. So I have to go for that. I have to leave this shit with my Zeraora. Again, he's very bulky, so that Moonblast didn't do very much damage. And then I go Zapdos to static the Kartana. Unfortunately, we don't get it. So this high roll on Hatterene was very huge, and I didn't click knockoff expecting the Tapu Fini. I knew it would happen, but I didn't have the balls to click it because I thought it's safer to just go for the Hatterene calc that I went, which was wrong, owing to the triple axle miss. So we lose this one. We lose this. Actually, like after this game, imagine after how bad he played with his Garchomp and shit, imagine losing this. It's sad. It's sad. We even made the fucking triple axle on the Lele switch. So good. But we ended up losing this. Even better, to be honest, because we get this game next. Sun and Moon. Now, this is a beautiful generation. I like this generation a lot. We have Z moves, we have Aska Ninja, we have Brocky Toxic Spikes, we have all the Tapus. It's a fun generation. I don't know what kind of team it is. It might be Z move. There's also Megas. It might be Z move Excadrill. Usually that's what they run. It might be Z move Tornadus, Mega Titar, defensive Celesteela as a fairy resisting all that fun stuff. I don't know what type of Tapu Fini that would be. I don't know what kind of Serp that would be. We are using a very powerful team with Z-move Tornadoes, defensive Scizor with Swords Dance and Uter, Toxic Spikes, and Gren. I immediately can tell Toxic Spikes whenever I see a Defog, whenever I see a Tapu Fini as your hazard control, I can tell Toxic Spikes are gonna be insane. Now this could be Rapid Spin Excadrill, usually it isn't, and this could also be Defog Tornadoes utility. However, I still feel Toxic Spikes are huge in this game, because I can get the poison on Tapu Fini and stuff, and he has to, if I place Toxic Spikes down, to prevent it, he has to go Tapu Fini, get poisoned, activate the Misty Surge, because it activates after Toxic Spikes activation, and then if he switches it to Titar as he has Misty Surge, then he doesn't get poisoned. So I really thought Toxic Spikes would be huge, so I lead with my boy Bex, and he leads with Tornadoes. I leave everything, I go for a safe Toxic Spike, see who the defogger is, Tapu Fini or Tornadoes, and then I spam some Skulls for a free burn. We get it immediately, which is quite nice. It doesn't help that much, but Burn's a burn is good. He goes for the knockoff, remove my Black Sluts, which I don't exactly need, and then we go for the Toxic Spikes again. I switch it to my Scizor in case he's a Whirlpool set. Only thing that could be very annoying for my team right now, losing is the Toxapex. Like losing the Toxapex to a Whirlpool set would have been very awful for me, and there's not much to do. Toxapex versus Feeny right there. So I'm in fear of Whirlpool type of set. So I switch it to my Scizor, take a lot of damage, but I expect the taunt, so I don't roost, and I go for the momentum. I go for the momentum and I go into my Tornadus. Hurricanes are free, knockoff is very good. I like this. He for some reason switches into this guy. I don't get it. I don't know what this wants to do to me. It's some sort of Rocky Helmet damage. You take knockoff. You could have taken 2 Hurricanes that get destroyed. You have a safety there with Misty Surge so you don't get poisoned. He wants to defog these. I don't know. He gets punished right here. He gets fucking owned by a Z move, and he immediately throws the game turn 7. Like, so bad. These T-Spikes are here to stay. So you're fucked. I taunt this shit, so no more lead seed action, which gives me free Heatran. And then I even knock off its leftovers, which is gonna mean, at this point, it means, first of all, I can regen this damage from Heavy Slam. But at this point, he gets 2 killed by Hydro Pump. So this is very important. And his Water Resist is getting poisoned right now. Even Serpent is also getting poisoned. So this is very huge. Greninja is a huge win condition. He decides to switch on Excadrill. So this gives me Greninja for free to click Hydro Pumps. He goes Celesteela over Tapu Fini, like a dumbass, gets 2 KO'd. Like, so bad that the game gives me the ass Greninja. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? At this point, I'm like, bro, you have been calling me shit at the game for a year. And this is the best thing you can do? This is the best thing that you can do? Now you go Tapu Fini? After giving me the ass? I go Tornadus, get some HP back. He goes Tyranitar. At this point, he wants... I was afraid that, okay, it might be some sort of D-Dance set. Because at this point, that's the only thing that can kind of stop me. Like, stop this absolute ridiculous game. But he's rocks. I go for a safe Bullet Punch right here. Because again, I was afraid of like Fire Punch or something. This is generation where Tita runs a lot of Fire Punch. I go for +2. The only thing that can kill me is Z-move on this thing is usually Corkscrew, Grass, whatever it's called, Steelium Z. The only thing that could kill me right here is Groundium Z, which is very unlikely. We know Pummeling, All Out Pummeling, and we know Corkscrew Grass on Fightinium Z and Steelium Z on Excadrill. So I'm not very afraid of Groundium Z. He is actually the Fightinium Z. And we go for a free U-turn right here on my Gren. Yep, because Sandstorm runs out, I get a free Dark Pulse. I don't want to click Hydro Pump. It would have done a lot more damage to this Tapu Fini. But Dark Pulse hits everyone because the Tyranitar couldn't come in without Misty Surge. It would have been poisoned. I go Tornadus. He doubles into Tyranitar because again Misty Surge. He's free to do that. However, I know he's not DD Rocks, so I just get a little bit of damage. Go to my Toxapex or whatever. I'm good. I go Toxapex over Lando. Excuse me. I go Toxapex over Lando because I'm expecting Ice Punch. It hits Tornadus if I stay in, and it also hits the Landorus. So it was a good mid ground to click. I of course call it, and then we got Landorus the turn after because I'm a demon, and then I get a free Earthquake down versus this Tyranitar. He clicks Earthquake, doesn't predict my Lando, and then he goes Sherp. I can just Earthquake, U-turn, and I'm good. I don't need to keep this Landorus healthy. It's a check to Excadrill that is half HP. It is half HP. I can just Water Shuriken. This is a GG, bro. So I just click a free U-turn. As he clicks Leech Seed, at least get some damage, bro. Do something. You were talking all this crap, and you just forfeit right here. What a pathetic game. What a pathetic player. So yeah, this win felt good. I don't like dealing with shit talkers. I never myself shit talk someone randomly. Like only if they do something to me, then I'm like, okay, fuck you. Because that's how it should be. Be nice to people unless they are not nice with you. If they're not nice to you, they can fuck off. And they can lose like that and get exposed. So, hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you have beef battles like that. I hope you have some idiots in your life who shit talk you and then you get destroyed. And trust me, it feels great. So he loses round 1 of the SMOGON Masters. Wouldn't expect anything else, to be honest. But yeah, 6-0. 6-0. Dude forfeited. Take the fucking L, don't forfeit. Take the fucking L. Take the 6-0, don't forfeit. GG's. We might upload more SMOGON Masters. We'll see. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bye bye. Peace.